Today I want to share with you how to make a buttermilk substitute, and I'm going to show you 4 easy ways as part of my Baking Basics series. Hi sweet friends, I'm Mary and welcome to Mary's Nest, where I teach traditional cooking skills for making nutrient-dense foods like bone broth, ferment, sourdough, and more. So if you enjoy learning about those things, consider subscribing to my channel. And don't forget to click on the little notification bell below. That'll let you know every time I upload a new video. Now, any of these buttermilk substitutes can be used in a recipe. It can be a baking recipe, a marinade, a dip. Wherever buttermilk is called for, any 4 of these will work. Now, before we get started making these substitutes, what is buttermilk? The buttermilk that you may be most familiar with is that which is sold at the grocery store under the name of buttermilk. And it's usually a low-fat milk or a full-fat milk that's had a culture added to it. And when you go to pour it, it looks thicker than regular milk. Not as thick as yogurt, but not as loose as regular milk, somewhat thicker. Now, the other type of buttermilk is what's the real buttermilk. Real buttermilk is a byproduct of making butter. And if you were with us in a previous video where I showed you how to make butter, we got the byproduct, buttermilk. So if you make homemade butter, you can make your own buttermilk. And I'll link to that video in the iCards and in the description below if you'd like to give that a try. Now in that video, we made cultured butter. And so the byproduct, the buttermilk, was a cultured buttermilk. And I explain all of the details why I do that. It's basically to improve the nutrition by culturing the cream before we turn it into butter. But the byproduct, the buttermilk, is cultured. And you can put that in a jar and then put it in your refrigerator. And then after about a week or so, it will become a much thicker liquid, very much like the cultured buttermilk or the cultured milk that's called buttermilk at the grocery store. And either one will work, the real buttermilk or the cultured buttermilk that you buy at the grocery store. Either one will work in a recipe that calls for buttermilk. Now, let's get to making our substitutes. The first substitute just requires 8 ounces, 1 cup of milk. And I like to use whole milk. I think that creates the best buttermilk substitute when you're doing this. And all you're going to need to do is take 1 tablespoon of vinegar. You can use white vinegar, you can use apple cider vinegar, you can use your homemade apple cider vinegar if you made that with us. And if you want to try, I'll link to that in the iCards and in the description below. And you can also use lemon juice. You just need some type of acidic medium that's going to cause the milk to curdle. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll add in this tablespoon of white vinegar, and then we'll take a clean whisk and we'll just give that a little stir. And then what you're going to need to do is just leave this for a little bit and allow it to curdle. And it can take up to an hour. Now, if you do want to use low-fat milk in place of whole milk to make your buttermilk substitute, you can. You may need another teaspoon, possibly, of vinegar to get your milk to curdle nicely and thicken up. But you can certainly start with the tablespoon. Now, the next way to make a buttermilk substitute is with yogurt. And you just want to get plain whole milk yogurt. And you're going to need 3/4 of a cup, and you're going to thin it with a 1/4 cup of whole milk. And this is a canning jar, so I've got measurements on the side there. Alrighty, that's just about a cup. And then with a clean whisk, because we don't want to cross-contaminate with the vinegar, because you don't need any of that, what we're going to do is just give this a nice stir around to thin that yogurt with the milk, and then you've got buttermilk or buttermilk substitute that's all ready to use. No waiting time involved. Now, if you want, you can use Greek yogurt. Again, plain whole milk Greek yogurt. And you'll just want a 1/2 cup because that's very thick, and then you'll want to thin it with a 1/2 cup of whole milk. Now you can use low-fat and fat-free yogurts, whether they're regular plain yogurts or Greek yogurts, and you can use fat-free milk to thin it. However, I think the best consistency is with the full-fat products. But in a pinch, yes, you can use low-fat or fat-free, or simply if you just want to use something that is going to be created with less calories, you can certainly use that, and they can be used in any of the ways that regular buttermilk can be used, but there will be a slight difference in consistency. Now that we've got that all mixed up with the whisk, I'll show you the consistency, and I'll take a close-up shot so that you can see this. But it's nice and pourable, looks just like a buttermilk that you could buy at the store, and then with a clean finger you can see that you just put your finger down the middle there, and you'll see that it's nice and thick yet pourable. Now the next buttermilk substitute can be made with sour cream. Now sour cream, similar to Greek yogurt, is on the thicker side. So you're only going to want 1/2 cup of the sour cream, and then you're going to want to thin it with another 1/2 cup of the whole milk. So you've got 1/2 cup of the sour cream and 1/2 cup of whole milk. And then again, clean whisk. And we're going to get in here and whisk this up until it's nice and smooth, and I'll show you the texture. Now, as with the yogurt, I do like to use full-fat sour cream and full-fat or whole milk. You can use the low-fat or the fat-free varieties, but the texture, again, might be slightly different, so I just want you to be aware of that. But yes, you can still use it in the various recipe preparations, but the texture may be slightly different, and then the outcome in your baked good, your marinade, or your dip may be slightly different, have a little different mouthfeel. So just be aware of that if you are going to go with your low-fat or your fat-free products. Well, now that we've got this nice and mixed up, I'm going to show you how the texture of this looks. And I'll take a close-up so you can see. But you just will notice that it's a beautiful, pourable buttermilk, just like what you would buy at the store. And if you put your clean finger down the middle of the spoon, you'll see that it's quite thick and a perfect substitute for store-bought or homemade buttermilk. Now the next buttermilk substitute is going to be made with something called cream of tartar. And many of you may have this in the back of your pantry along with your herbs and spices, but cream of tartar works very well at curdling milk and making a buttermilk substitute. And what you're going to want to do is take about 2 teaspoons of the cream of tartar powder. It's a white powder, and just go ahead and put it right down there into our jar. And then we're going to add just a little bit of milk to start. And then again, with our clean whisk, we're going to give this a little whisk around just to help dilute that cream of tartar in this little bit of milk, make a little bit of a paste. And then we'll go ahead and add in the rest of our milk up to 1 cup. Then we'll go ahead and add in the rest of our milk. We'll get it up to the one cup mark to make our 1 cup of sour cream. We'll give this another whisk, and then this, similar to the vinegar in the milk, which we'll come back to that in a minute. We'll see how that's doing. You just want to give this a good whisk and then let it sit. You know, as I said, it can take up to an hour. Just let it sit and culture. Culture may not be the right word. Just sit and just basically separate into a curds and whey. And then you're just going to whip it up again, which I'll show you what we'll do with the vinegar. That will create somewhat of a thicker milk product that makes a perfect buttermilk substitute. Now, what exactly is cream of tartar? It's a byproduct of making wine, and it's acidic, and so it works in a very similar way to curdle milk, the way vinegar does. And so in a pinch, you can use that to curdle your milk if, say, you didn't have any vinegar and you wanted to make a mock buttermilk. Now we'll come back to the milk that we put our vinegar in, and we'll see how it's doing. Oh, it's thickening up nicely. And I'll take a close-up so that you can see. And basically, you're going to notice a lot of little lumps, and you're going to want to go in with your whisk and then give it a good whisk to get rid of some of those lumps. But I'm going to bring you in closer so you can see exactly what it looks like. that you can see how this milk has curdled. And it's curdled basically into curds and whey. There'd be the little chunks of the milk and then the little bit of liquid that's coming off of it. So this still needs a little more time. However, you know, as I said, it can take up to about an hour. But what you'll do is give it a good whisk as best you can to reincorporate those curds and whey. And then this will thicken up and be very similar to the purchased buttermilk or your homemade buttermilk. And again, ready to use in a recipe. So then after you give this a good whisk, once you get some nice curds and whey and you whisk everything back together, it will again give you the nice consistency of a buttermilk. Now this actually needed a little more time to separate into the curds and whey, but I just wanted to show you what the technique was. And I'll bring you in closer so that you can see. It's fairly close to being ready, but it'll just thicken up and it'll be perfect. Now revisiting this cream of tartar one, it still needs time to thicken up. So you're going to want to give that each of these, you know, probably about an hour. Now that said, about the vinegar and about the cream of tartar, this is not an exact science. So if you find 1 tablespoon of vinegar or lemon juice isn't giving you the separation of curds and whey that you need, and then when you go to whisk it back up, it's not as thick as you were hoping, it's not as similar as the buttermilk, you know, that you might have purchased from the grocery store, don't worry, you can add in an extra teaspoon full and that should do it. You'll really learn what works best for the type of milk you have and the conditions in your kitchen. You know, sometimes temperature can get involved with this as well. And so know that it's not an exact science. Don't worry if it's not perfect. The first time that you do this, just add a little more vinegar or a little more lemon juice. It'll curdle up, it'll be fine. The same with the cream of tartar. You'll want to, you know, start with about those 2 teaspoons, and if you need to add an extra teaspoon, that's fine too. But give them the time they need and see what happens. And if after about an hour it's not reaching the curdling and the texture that you need, you can add a little bit more of the vinegar or the cream of tartar and it should be fine. But the nice thing about making a buttermilk substitute with yogurt or with sour cream is that if you have those on hand and you can thin them, they're ready right away. So then you can just proceed with your recipe and you don't have to wait for the curdling process to take place with these two. If you'd like to see more of my Baking Basics series where I show you how to make 10 flavored extracts, natural food coloring, evaporated milk, condensed milk, and more, be sure to click on this video over here and I'll see you over there in my Texas Hill Country kitchen. Love and God bless.